1 year ago, Hurricane Beryl swept through Carriacou and Petite Martinique, tearing apart homes, lives, and critical infrastructure. Among the greatest losses was access to something so basic, so vital, clean water. For months, students and teachers across the Sister Isles struggled. Buckets were filled where they could, bottles were reused, water was rationed, sometimes even skipped.
We were getting little from other sources, but unfortunately that ended, and people had to seek maybe by boiling their water from their water tanks, and so on. Some people now water was available.
But from that crisis, something powerful was born: the Aid Water Access Program, sponsored by Windward Aid. Windward Aid stepped in with one simple promise: every child, every teacher, every staff member at every single school in Carriacou and Petite Martinique will receive 2 bottles of clean drinking water every day. That promise has been kept. At Dover Government School, Vice Principal Melissa Collins shares how this daily supply has restored both comfort and confidence in her classrooms.
And to know that after burial, many persons here in Carriacou have lost their roofs, meaning that there wasn't any catchment for water, and so clean water especially. So I think Winward Aid actually came at a very crucial and very important time in our lives here in Carriacou to provide fresh drinking water for our students and immediate families and so on. So it has been going quite well.
And it's also extended, for instance, your cooks, your cleaners, everybody
Yes,
gets.
yes, everybody gets a little to go home. Even when, the children are going off to their vacation, we would give them to go home, ensuring that they have enough supplies there to keep them even during their holidays. So they have that fresh, clean drinking water.
At Hillsborough Government School, Secretary Gracelyn Moses reflects on the shift from anxiety to assurance.
The children had to come with their own water because access to drinking water in Carriacou was very tough. Very, very tough. So the student had was the parents would buy the water, give the children the water, and they would come with it in the school. Thanks to Winward Aid, it is much better. Access to drinking water is much easier. So for the both students and staff.
How many students are at the school?
142 in total.
And staff?
That would be 11 teachers, including the principal, myself, the secretary, the groundsman, the cleaner, 2 cleaners, 2 cooks, and 1 canteen worker. So given the situation, the access to the water has been very, 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 very helpful. Sometimes some of the children doesn't really come with water, knowing that they would get the water in the school, and then they come to me knowing that they will get the water. It makes me feel in a type of way, but makes me feel good to know that they have the access to the water and they can get the water when it's needed.
At Mount Pleasant Government School, students no longer carry the burden of thirst. They carry water bottles filled with dignity, handed to them each day. And it's not just about receiving. Across all the schools, a quiet revolution is underway. Children are recycling their water bottles, learning to value every drop and every act of sustainability. You'll see them, young hands placing bottles into bins, not as waste, but as a step toward a cleaner, more conscious island.
Get the water when it's needed. Because before, when we just started to get the water, the recycling bins was not available, and the water bottle was all over the place. You would see it at the school grounds, out of the school grounds, around homes. And now, as the bottles are being recycled, it makes it much easier and much safer and cleaner for the environment. The bottles are put in recycle bins, and then when the bags are full, we call solid waste. Solid waste comes, picks up the bottles, and bring it back for recycle. Takes back to Grenada for recycling.
This isn't just about water, it's about resilience, it's about respect, it's about never again letting a storm wash away something so essential.
I think the water that we're actually getting from Winward Aid, as I said, it's clean. It's fresh. All right. Even during the dry season, you have gastroenteritis going on and so on. So I think the water is very important at this crucial time. All right.
How many students do you have and how much water do you get per week?
We have a total of, I think it's between 82 to 85 students, and we normally get 40 cases of water per week.
And that is enough?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we give them at least 2 bottles per day. Some students might drink more. Yeah.
Today, thanks to EduAid and Windward Aid, water flows in Karakou, and with it flows the right to learn, the joy to play, and the power to grow.